Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Courtney Burnett, and I work with the Wake County Detention Center. I'm here to talk to you all today about correctional nursing and the role that it plays in women's health. Can you all see this? Let me straighten it up. So we have three learning objectives. The first is to demonstrate knowledge of the occupational role of the correctional nurse. Two, we want you to demonstrate knowledge of the correctional nurse's role in healthcare, specifically related to women. And then I also want you all to know 6 ways that you can advocate for your patients. Because as a nurse, whether it's in corrections or whatever field you decide to get into, being able to advocate for your patients is very important. So, what is correctional nursing? When I tell people that I work in a correctional setting, they're like, do you work at a jail? Do you work at a prison? Is this like federal? So, there's three levels to the correctional system. That's your jail, which is on your county level. Then you have a state prison, which is on the state level. And then you could also have a federal prison, which would be on the federal level, which is above the state. There's I'm not really sure exactly what people do to do federal crimes, maybe doing different things across state lines or assaulting a federal government official. I think those kind of things could land you in a federal jail, but I'm a little bit less familiar with federal corrections as I am with state and local jails. So, correctional nursing is a highly specialized field of nursing that involves caring for the medical needs of detainees and inmates. These nursing professionals treat a wide array of medical problems each and every day, from acute illnesses to medical emergencies. And I have like a nice little, and let me just click it for you. For you guys won't have access to this later. But it's just a nice little place that you can go. It's called everynurse.org. And you can write that down as well. And you can go and type in the different specialties that you might be interested in and see like what type of education you need, how much money you might make once you become a nurse. And so it's a really nice website. And it's pretty accurate too, because I looked for what I make and it's pretty accurate. So, our job description, unlike nurses in some specialties, correctional nurses typically deal with a wide range of medical problems. They administer both routine and emergency medical care, and they treat acute and chronic illnesses as well as injuries. So, we deal with anything and
Facility
everything
alert.
that
Fire alarm activation. Forsyth Medical Center. All clear.
So fire alarm started.
Facility alert. Fire alarm activation. Forsyth Medical Center. All clear. Facility alert. Fire alarm activation. Forsyth Medical Center. All clear.
Okay. So, again, we deal with a wide range of illnesses. We treat hypertension, diabetes, heart disease, common cold and flu, seizure disorders, anything and everything, HIV, Hep C. People come in who could um, have AIDS as well. If they're not taking care of their HIV, they may have developed AIDS while they're out in the community. And so we treat that, any STDs and STIs, we treat that and provide treatments for them. That happens through the Wake County Health Department. We work in partnership with them. We also treat mental health issues and disorders, and we got a couple of psychiatrists on staff that come to see people. And then we also have a various array of case managers and counselors that come to talk to people as well, to just make sure that when the people are being released from this setting, the jail setting at least, or maybe from prison later on, that they have someone following up with them to decrease that rate of returning back to jail. And so we also have people who are pregnant, and that's really what I want to focus on today because this is what your class is talking about. So what do we do for women in general who are in the correctional setting, and specifically for women that could be pregnant? So we offer pregnancy tests. That's the urine and the blood pregnancy test. We offer special accommodations, prenatal care, gynecology visits. Those are taken on the outpatient standpoint, and we also do pap smears outpatient as well. We don't have any in-house doctors that do those kind of things for the residents. We administer medications, monitor hypertension or preeclampsia if she's pregnant, and diabetes or gestational diabetes if she's pregnant. We also treat drug withdrawal and alcohol withdrawal. Sometimes when women are arrested and pregnant, they come in and they're detoxing from opiates, benzos, alcohol, or any number of drugs. And so that's always sad to see. But we do detox them in an appropriate way. There was one case where we were taking someone back and forth to the methadone clinic every morning because she had her appointments like set up, and we didn't want to mess with that because she wasn't going to be there for long. And so we do deal with a lot of things. And of course, if the detox process isn't going well, we do send them to the hospital for further evaluation, because it's not just about the mother at that point, it's about the child as well. So, what are the demographics of women that are incarcerated? So, I'm often asked that when I talk about my scholarly project or whatever else I'm doing, as far as whatever research I'm gathering as far as women in the correctional setting. And so I'm always asked what type of women are in jail. Well, at this point, there's approximately 200,000 women that are incarcerated in either the jail or prison system. Many of those people are mothers, and many of those people are domestic violence survivors. So, with domestic violence, you end up going to jail because of things that you're doing to protect yourself or to protect your children. And that kind of lands a lot of women in jail, honestly. Or if they're living with a partner or spouse that's dealing drugs, then they can go to jail for maintaining a place or dwelling. And so we see a lot of domestic violence issues and drug issues when we talk about women who are in the incarcerated setting. And this is a graph that'll show you the numbers. Can you all see this? Okay. Okay. So 89,000 are in local jails, approximately 89,000, because again, it's more or less at any given time. And in state prisons, it's about 99,000 individuals. So that's a lot of women who need health care, who need access to health care, that are in this incarcerated setting. So that's a large demographic area that we need to focus research on, which is difficult because you can't really research on incarcerated populations for ethical reasons. But still, we need to find a way to make sure that they're having the access to the care that they need in these facilities as well. And that is uniform across um, different areas. Oops. Okay, again, violence perpetrated against women and girls can put them at risk for incarceration because their survival strategies are routinely criminalized. Domestic violence survivors are often use survival strategies that are illegal, such as being coerced into criminal activity by their abuser, fighting back to defend themselves or their children. And survivors of domestic violence can find themselves trapped between the dangers of sometimes life threatening violence and the risk of spending the rest of their lives in prison. Another thing about the women who are incarcerated, most of them are mothers. Most of them are mothers before they were incarcerated, and some of them become mothers after they've been incarcerated, meaning that they're giving birth to their children in the prison setting. 1.3 million children are affected by female imprisonment. This number includes the number of children at home when the mother is in prison and the babies born and raised in the prison. 70% of people in women's prisons are mothers. That number of mothers in prison has increased by 122%. So there was a time when working in this population, you didn't see a lot of women, and I can tell you from a firsthand experience that time has gone. There are so many women that we now deal with and now see, more so than I would say even 3 or 4 years ago when I started. The population has just increased to a point where we're adding extra places to make sure that they have beds in our facility. In 33 states in the United States, it's legal to shackle a female inmate while she is giving birth. 31 of these states do not require prison employees to check with medical staff before determining whether or not a prisoner should be restrained. So when we're talking about this issue, and the shackling while giving birth is a hot topic, and is one of the issues that drew me to looking into, well, what are the other things that are going on with healthcare in the incarcerated setting. So basically, when women come in pregnant, they could come in, 3 months or 9 months pregnant. When it's time for them to give birth, they're literally shackled, one arm to the bed and one leg to the bed, so that they're no longer an escape risk when they're out in public. This can be hurtful emotionally, but it also can be hurtful and dangerous in a physiological way, because if there's an issue where they need to move the mother quickly, or she needs to turn a certain way, then it can be quite deadly for her to be restrained in that way. And not a lot of people know or understand to ask to have them unshackled. And so if you aren't aware of that, then you can run into some issues with that. So these are some videos that I have. I personally worked with the first lady that I'm going to show you, and I saw this on the news, and I was so happy to see her doing well. And I have a small update for this video, and I'll tell you about the video after I show you.
There are more than 210,000 women behind bars in the United States.
That's not the one I wanted to do first. Hold on. 1 second. Okay.
There are more than two.
Okay,
There
we'll
are more
watch
than
this one first.
210,000 women behind bars in the United States. Most are arrested for nonviolent offenses. They are disproportionately women of color, and the majority are young women. Some of them will enter jail or prison pregnant. My name is Carolyn Suffren. I'm an OBGYN and a medical anthropologist.
Can you hear?
I use qualitative methods to understand the experiences of both jail workers and incarcerated pregnant women in this unusual caregiving environment. My research team is also collecting national statistics from prisons on how many women give birth, have miscarriages, abortions, and pregnancy complications while in custody. Providing healthcare to incarcerated women can improve their chances of successful reintegration into the community. My research will help promote optimal pregnancy care and reproductive justice for one of the most vulnerable and marginalized groups of women in society.
Okay, so that was a quick video from Dr. Carolyn Suffren. She's doing a lot of research in the same areas that I'm doing research, and a lot of what she's doing is bringing awareness to some of the issues that we're having with incarcerated women, and definitely incarcerated pregnant women. So this next video that I'll show is actually the video of someone that I've actually worked with, and I was so glad to see her doing so well outside of the jail setting. And I'll play this for
When
you.
Sarah Peterson's son Charlie was born, her parole officer gave her a choice.
I was either going to walk out of that hospital and go somewhere I didn't need to be at that time and get in trouble, do my prison time, or I was going to try this program and keep my son and give this all a chance.
She chose Pharaoh's Daughter.
This is Sarah and Charlie's room.
Susan Henson founded the nonprofit she now runs with her sister Diane out of this 5-bedroom house in South Raleigh. Unlike similar prison ministries, Pharaoh's Daughter cares for the babies of imprisoned women and then brings that mother in when she's released.
This location is exactly where you want to be.
It's perfect.
Close to the women's prison in downtown and Wake Tech, where the mothers are enrolled to earn a degree, get a job, and start over. But the owner wants to sell, and Pharaoh's Daughter will need a new home when the lease is up this month.
You can stick your own neck out, but when you are the caretaker of other people, especially babies, it gets a little scary, wondering, what will tomorrow look like?
Henson's been on the house hunt, finding nothing within their tight budget. For now, just as she always has.
We have strollers and baby car seats and just everything you need.
She's relying on the generosity of the community and holding fast to her faith in God.
I have full trust that he's going to show up because he always has shown up.
And wherever Pharaoh's Daughter goes, Peterson says she and Charlie will go too.
This is pretty much the answer for me. This is my boost to do right in life, go to school, get that house, get that car, make your child proud of you.
Henson says since 2017, Pharaoh's Daughter has helped 6 mothers and 7 children get the fresh start they need. And she says there's so much more work to be done. The State Department of Public Safety tells us 101 babies were born to female offenders last year.
It really is a great location that they're in right now, near the prison,
Right.
near Wake Tech. It'd be nice if something came up in that area.
That's what they're hoping
I
for.
guess at this point, maybe we'll take any.
Yeah, pretty much. They're doing great work. They want to keep doing it.
Okay, and so like I said, I was so proud to see her on TV. This was maybe about a couple of months ago, and doing well with her son Charlie, because she really did want to do better. And so it's programs like these that we would want to have state funding for, and so it's not necessarily a nonprofit, but maybe something state funded to have mothers and babies be able to reconnect after time is served, or even while they're serving time, because some states do that as well. They have prison nursery programs where they allow the mothers who are nonviolent and minimum security risk to keep their children with them throughout that time and learn those skills and bond with their children, so that when they leave, they're not just leaving empty-handed and being thrown into this environment that's highly stressful and unfamiliar with. So I was happy to see that, and these are excellent programs. And this is Pharaoh's Daughters. This is out of Raleigh, North Carolina. I have one more video to show you. Let's see.
I did it.
So this one's kind of a negative video. I hate to be hinting on this one, but this is a Dr. Oz, and it's a woman describing giving birth in shackles.
Picture this scenario. A woman shackled to a hospital bed giving birth as a guard with a gun drawn stands nearby. 12,000 pregnant women are behind bars every year in the U.S., and many may experience a similar fate. We're about to give you an inside look at what it's like to give birth behind bars and discuss whether the systems are in place. Well, are they helpful or harmful to women?
In 2007, I sold drugs to an undercover cop. When I went into prison, I was 5 months pregnant. It was hard thinking about, are you gonna be able to keep your child, or are they gonna take your child from you? That's all you have in your mind while you're pregnant. February 15 at 9 o'clock in the morning, they just came to pick me up. and then they shackled me.
And
I
that's
had
what they
to
do. They don't
walk
let them know
down
they're coming to
flights of
get them or
stairs with
anything
my
because
feet
it's a
cuffed,
security
and
risk.
I was scared to fall down the stairs. When I get to the hospital, they lay me on the bed, uncuff my feet and my stomach, but cuff one hand to the bed. My childbirth was painful. My hand got swollen because the cuff kept getting tighter and tighter on my hand. I felt like an animal being shackled. My daughter, she looked like an angel. She was my new beginning. I was allowed to hold her for 2 minutes, and then the doctors took her away. When I was in the hospital, I was only able to see her for 8 hours. Didn't breastfeed, and there was male officers in the room that wouldn't eat. When I went back to the prison, I did find out that I was gonna be in the nursery, so I was gonna be able to keep my child. I was feeding my daughter, and I had to fall asleep with her on the bed. That was against the rules. Because of that, I went back to general population, and a nonprofit organization came to pick her up. For 8 months, I was able to see my daughter once a month. It was hard. Today, I am doing very good.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause. She is doing better now, as you can see. So that was her story, and that's a real life story of what happened to her when she was in prison and gave birth to her daughter. And like I said, that is what they do. They don't tell people that they're coming to, or that they're going to have birth today, or they're going to go have the baby today if there's a scheduled C-section. It's okay.